Hey guys, welcome back to our One Up Leadership Program. Today we're going to be talking about the different types of parties that we offer with Scentsy. So the first one I'm going to touch base on is home parties. So with home parties, those are the best types of parties to do. We are a direct sales company, so doing home parties gives us a way to really connect one-on-one with our customers and build relationships. You also have a higher percentage of booking parties at those parties because you are running your business. So the best thing about home parties is that you are your own brand for your business. So when you're at a home party and you're meeting your customers, you're meeting with your hostess, you get to display your brand the way that you want to. You get to demonstrate the product that you want to. You get to show them everything, explain things better because you are there. So if they have questions, you're right there to answer them. To make home parties a little bit simpler, that's what we want to do. We want to go into a home party and keep it simple. We don't want to be carrying loads and loads and loads and loads of product inside somebody's house. We want it to look simple to our hostess. So usually, typically for me, when I do a regular home party, that is not a cash and carry, which I'll explain what that is in just a minute, is I have my table. Well, first I'll check with my hostess. I'll say, do you have a table or an area for me to set up, or should I bring my own? If they have a table, that's even better because then you don't have to lug in a table. It's one less thing for you to have to carry. Plus, you can kind of set up in their home and show them what Scentsy would look like maybe in their entryway or in their dining room. So you ask them if they have a table first. Then you have one tote, I would say, of however many products. So whatever came in your starter kit is pretty much all you need. I would recommend one of our top selling warmers, a big warmer, usually one that is that shows better in person than in the catalog. The ones that come to mind are probably Stargaze. Really any of the lampshade warmers are really good to bring. Because they showcase so beautifully in person. Champagne's another one. And then I'll try to bring an element warmer if I have one, and I can, just to show them what the difference is between an element warmer and a regular warmer. And then I will bring like a mini warmer. It's not a lot to lug in, so I might as well bring it to show them. And then one of every other kind of product that we have, that I have. So I might bring in scent circles, definitely bars. I might bring in my washer whiffs because washer whiffs are another top selling item that kind of gets overlooked. A hand cream so they can actually try it. I'll bring a room spray and set it in the bathroom. I'll bring a hand soap and put it in the bathroom. So I kind of stage their house a little bit at the same time. So I might bring the room spray and the hand soap and put it in their bathroom with their permission, of course. You don't want to like completely like redo their house, but I might put those in their house to stage their house so that way they can see like, oh, okay. And then when people are using them naturally in the bathroom, they're using it without you really even having to sell it because their hands might smell like Christmas cottage or whatever soap that you have in there. So then I always bring my testers, order forms, catalogs, any scent of the month, warmer of the month flyers. If there's a pet flyer, you can bring that. And there's two different types of ways that I'll do these parties. If it's a brand new crowd, one that has no experience or knowledge of Scentsy whatsoever, I'll set everything up in the front of the room, wait for people to get in. Usually the hostess will provide like a sweet snack and a savory snack and a drink. Let everybody get their drinks and their snacks. And I just kind of hang around and I just kind of listen to conversations, get to know people. Usually they're all like reconnecting and getting to know each other anyways. And then once everybody is kind of settled, then I'll be like, okay, I'm just going to get started. And I don't do a long spiel. I don't do, I don't make it this big lengthy thing. I don't make it a big awkward thing either, where I'm like playing a game and forcing people to like join on the spot or anything like that. There are some people who have their certain games and methods that work for them. But I just like icebreaker type things. So what I'll do is I'll give everybody a catalog, and ahead of time, I will put some things down like on a piece of paper, maybe 5 things. I like to do raffles because when you're at a party, you could do giveaways and things like that. So I usually have raffle tickets. You don't have to be overcomplicated. If you don't want to do raffle tickets, you could just give them like a bead or a penny or whatever, and then whoever has the most pennies in the end will get something. It doesn't matter. Don't overcomplicate it. So I usually have like 5 things written down on a piece of paper, and everybody will have their catalog, and I'll say, okay, the first person who could tell me what our cause product is will get a raffle. So they'll all be flipping through their catalog, and somebody will be like, oh, the Tinkerbell warmer. So I'll be like, yes, and then that'll give me an opportunity. I'll give them their raffle ticket. Gives me an opportunity to explain what our cause process is, how much goes to the organization, how much it costs, why we chose it. Usually through the catalog, I will touch base on the cause product. I will probably touch base on Scentsy Club, maybe. Maybe not so much the whiff box, but that's also like a selling point too. Any new products we have, so like the fragrance flower was new last time, so I might be like, look for something that's brand new, that is beautiful and has petals or something like that. And then I would always touch base on Disney, so make sure you touch base on Disney and all of the Disney stuff that we have. And then towards the back, I'll always touch base on the bundle and save packages. Where did they go? As well as host rewards. It's kind of like a shameless plug. I'll just be like, okay, whoever can flip to page 59 first, will get a raffle. Hey guys, welcome to our One Up Leadership training. Today I'm going to talk about the different types of parties that Scentsy has to offer. I'm going to be mainly focusing on home parties. We are a direct sales company, and so home parties is kind of the bread and butter of what Scentsy is. Second, I'm going to dive into basket parties, because I think that basket parties are probably the second most effective party tool that we have. And then a little bit about Facebook, a little bit about fundraisers and events, but mainly I'm going to talk about home parties. Okay, so first with a home party, what you want to do is you want to make sure when you talk to your hostess, or if you're hosting yourself, you get as much information as possible. So you're going to want to ask your hostess, one, does she have a table that you can set up on? If she doesn't have a table, then you just bring your own little folding table. If she does have a table, just ask her and say, just want to make sure, is there access to electricity or an outlet? I could bring my own power strip. And usually, like, I've set up on anything from a dining room table to like an entertainment center or a folding table in front of an entertainment center. So usually there is some sort of electrical somewhere. So you also want to ask her if she has any warmers in her home, and then ask her if she would just leave them all empty. Ask her what types of scents that she usually likes, and then let her know that your plan is to load her warmers up when you get there. So that way there's all fresh scents, they're all Scentsy, there's not going to be candles burning, there's not going to be old wax. You could double check and make sure the warmers are clean. If the warmer dishes are like kind of gross, then you could try to like clean them up and then put your wax in it. So it's kind of like you're doing a little bit of quality control over how your products are displayed when the hostess hosts the party. So once you get there, you want to make sure that everything you have is simple. You don't want to keep going out to the car and bringing in bags and bags and bags of stuff. You want to keep it pretty simple. So if she already has a table, that's one less thing that you have to bring. You could get like a duffel bag tote. I've done a suitcase just because it rolls and it's easier. And typically what I bring to a home party is a warmer. I try to bring a warmer that is that displays better in person than in the catalog. So for instance, usually any of our lampshade warmers, what comes to mind is Champagne and Stargaze. Those are two that I think show better in person than in the catalog. Sometimes if I have one, if it's available, if it's current, I'll bring an element warmer just so they can see the way that the heating element on the top is different and how it has no light in comparison to the other warmers. And because they don't take up too much space, I'll bring a mini warmer. And if you have it and it's available, I wouldn't go out and like try to invest so much money into getting one of every kind of product. But if you happen to have it, or it came in your starter kit, bring it. So if you have whatever comes in your starter kit is all you need for a party. So don't feel like you have to have stock. Don't feel like you have to have one of every single thing. just having the gist of the things is fine. If you do happen to have a wall fan diffuser, those are kind of fun to bring and show, because then you can show them the pods and the scents, and that's kind of another sort of, not an upsell, but a side selling kind of type deal. As well, I would definitely bring a bar. I would bring like something for on the go for the car, maybe car bar clips or a car bar. So whatever you have in your kit is all you need to bring. Bring all your testers, bring catalogs, order forms, and if you have flyers for a warmer of the month, you could bring those too. So that's all that you need. I would plan on bringing one catalog and one order form per customer, plus a couple extras. And if you have a basket party available, usually I bring my basket party to my home parties. So for instance, this is my basket party. It is just the little Scentsy tote, and it has all the testers inside. So I might bring this and then just use these testers for my actual party, because in the event that, and it always happens, somebody gets invited to the party and they RSVP and say yes, they're gonna go, and they really love Scentsy and want to buy, and then they're like, oh, my kid's sick, or something came up and I can't come. So you still want to give those people an opportunity to buy and smell. So I'll usually at the end of my party ask my hostess, do you want to keep this, and I'll throw in some catalogs and order forms in here, and you can take this to work and just catch any of the people who weren't able to make it. And so that'll be good for her to be able to collect a couple more orders. And I'll talk about basket parties in a second. But basically at the home party, so I will go and I will set up on whatever table I have to display. When people get there, usually the hostess will provide a sweet snack, a savory snack, and some sort of drinks. I've had things as simple as just like nuts and pretzels and some chocolates with like bottled waters, and things that are way more elaborate, like there's crock pots with, well, I actually had one lady who like totally had it catered from a local casino, and there was sodas. Sometimes there's like wine and mimosas. It just totally depends on your hostess. So let your guests come in, let them mingle, let them get their food and their drinks, and then get settled. And then that gives you an opportunity to kind of talk with them, listen, get to know them a little bit, make sure they all have a catalog. You can ask them, have you ever heard of Scentsy? So there's two different ways that I like to do home parties. If it's a brand new, like new to Scentsy crowd that really doesn't know much or hasn't been introduced to Scentsy since we were only wax and warmers and now we have all this other stuff, then usually when they're all settled, I'll stand in the front of the room and I'll just be like, okay, I think we're gonna get started. I'm Sarah. I've been doing Scentsy since February of 2011. I'm a mom. I have 5 kids. I'll just introduce myself first. Let them know how I know the hostess. If you don't know the hostess and she's just some random person, you just be like, so-and-so reached out to me and I'm super excited to do her party today. And then I like to start with a little icebreaker catalog walk. So usually I will do raffle tickets. Don't overthink it. You could do sheets of paper. You could do, little whatever, but don't overthink it at all. So I'll basically, what I try to do is I try to touch base on some of the main points in the catalog. The cause product, something new like a fragrance flower, and maybe something new that I don't have. So if I don't have a fragrance flower on me, I'll touch base on that since I don't have it there to show. I'll talk about the bundle and save packages. I like to talk about Disney and host rewards. So those are the main 5 things that I think that I would touch base on. So you would basically say like, okay, so we're going to do a little catalog scavenger hunt. So the first person who can find what our cause product is will get a raffle ticket, and you have 30 seconds. And so then you'll set the timer, and then they have 30 seconds to flip through the catalog, which here it's not hard because it's on the 5th page. So whoever finds it first will get a raffle ticket. That gives you an opportunity to be like, great, Teresa found the Tinkerbell warmer. So this is our cause product. It benefits Make-A-Wish Foundation. We're super excited about it. As well, we have, this is not our only Disney warmer. If you flip to page whatever, 35, we have our Mickey and Minnie warmer. And then the next page we have our buddies. So then it kind of gives you an opportunity to talk about some of the things more naturally than just being like, anybody have questions? So that's what I usually will do to start. And then I usually have all the testers there for them to smell. So my spiel is very short, and then I'll be like, these are my products I have. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to be up here to answer any of your questions. Here's a wish list. So I'll usually give them, like, it could be a sheet of paper, it could be a Scentsy piece of paper, it could just be the order form. So sometimes I'll just give them an order form and be like, you know, if you have a smell that you like, go ahead and write it on your order form. That way you have it, and then I can give you a copy of it, and then we'll rewrite your order at the end on a different sheet. So that also lets me know that there was more than what they ordered that they want to order in the future. So, and then like if they write like 15 scents on here, but they only order 6, at least I know what 15 they liked. So then, like, when there's a discontinued list that comes out and maybe half of their bars are discontinuing, I could call them and let them know, hey, you know, I know that you really like these scents. You didn't get a chance to order them at the party, but just so you know, they are discontinuing. So if you wanted to get them right now, they're 10% off. So, so that's something that you can do too. If they're more seasoned to Scentsy group and they know their stuff, they're big fans, I'll still set up everything. But I just make it open house style. So I might sit and mingle. In the very beginning, I just might be like, hey, I don't really have a big spiel. I know you all love Scentsy. So if you guys need a scent recommendation, just let me know. I have some of my favorites, like, and I might say, like, you know, these are my top 3 favorites right now in this season. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. And then one of the other games that I like to play is Scent Bingo. It's basically just like you just make a bingo sheet, free space in the middle. I put scent on the top. And then they fill in their bingo board with their wish list. So they smell the scents. That takes a long time because they smell the testers. They write it down. So their bingo board is their scent like list. And then I pull the scent testers out of my little thing, and that is the little bingo ball. And then I might have a prize. It could be just something like a scent circle, might be a little sample packet, might be something different. So that's what I like to do. Sometimes, and it's totally not, like, what's the word? You don't feel obligated to have cash and carry stuff in hand. But sometimes some people do like to just do like a little pop-up shop. So if you do happen to have product, then you can bring that and you can sell that there. It's a good way to get, if you have like an excess amount of scent of the month bars or warmer of the month warmers or something like that, and they didn't pre-sell, then you could totally just bring that and then have everybody do cash and carry. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of both. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, I have a lot of like discontinued bars that I need to move out of my stock. And so I'll kind of mix it up. And if they buy from my stock and they buy from the catalog, usually I will just replenish my stock anyway. So it doesn't affect my hostess rewards at all. So that is home parties. So if you guys have questions about home parties, just let me know. There's a ton of tools and resources and party game ideas available. But bingo and the catalog walk are kind of my 2 go-to things. Basket parties are my second best party option. Like I said, I have all my testers in here. Usually what I will include is a catalog, 1 or 2 catalogs. I will include order forms. Usually I do a minimum of 5 order forms, but if I ask my hostess, like, how many order forms do you think that you're gonna need? She's like, oh, well, I know like all the girls in my office, so I might need like 12. Then I'll throw in like maybe 15 just in case. So I'll put that in there. Usually I will put a flyer of the warmer of the month if you have one. If you don't, you can print it off of your workstation, but it's not, it's not obligated. Sometimes I'll throw in a little scent circle. Totally don't have to, because you are giving away money when you do that. So usually this is all that I put in here. Sometimes I'll do an envelope. So if they want to collect payment and put the payment in envelopes, they can do that. I didn't talk about that in the last party option. So if you did want to do like cash, so you could bring cash so you have change if somebody wants to pay in cash. It's easiest to accept credit card payments. I don't really do checks, and I don't do, and sometimes I'll do Venmo or PayPal. But usually those are the different ways that I take payment, but checks are just too complicated. I usually don't prefer to do it. If they do pay you in check, make sure they pay it out to you and not to Scentsy. You would end up having to cash the check and then place the order using your card information. Fundraisers, we'll do a different unit, I think, on fundraisers. And events, you could just look for local events that are in your area. They could be like a chili festival, or like a school, maybe like a PTF, like a school bazaar or something like that. But you can look in your local chamber of commerce will have information. And like even if you just look in like local Facebook groups, and you could just be like, hey, does anybody have any information on any upcoming harvest festivals or holiday boutiques that I can get in on? Also, networking with other direct sales companies will also help you get connected at the same time. Okay. So the reason why I like home parties is because you are really one-on-one with your customers and your hostess. Basket parties, you have to rely on your hostess to really sell for you. It requires hostess coaching. So if you've had a really good home party host or a really good customer who loves the product, like I've had hostesses where I've gone to their house and I've totally like stepped back and they have sold everything for me. And I'm like, wow, like you should do this. Like you should really, you should maybe sell Scentsy because you're so good at it naturally. But those are the types of hostesses that you want for your basket parties, because really you have to coach your hostess when they're doing a basket party. You can't just give it to them and just be like, here you go. Like you have to show them like, this is how we do the order forms. This is how we collect the orders. If somebody's asking you for this type of scent, what do you recommend? So that's the great thing about basket party hostesses is usually my basket party hosts are repeat hostesses who have hosted a lot. Or they're really like big Scentsy fans and they could just do it for me. And those types of people are really good people to consider for joining later on down the road, or anytime, not later on down the road. But, and fundraisers are a good way to get your name out there. But you're also giving back part of your commission. So the way fundraisers work is, I'll just use an example for Scent Circles. So you might have an order form and the organization, you want each participant to sell this many Scent Circle 6-packs. And then once they sell a total of like 50, they get this much back towards the organization, which comes out of your commission check. So I believe it is a tax write-off, but it still comes out of your commission check. So that's one way to get your name out there. I know some people will do buddy drives. Well, they'll have their customers will basically sponsor a buddy. So you'll order a Scentsy buddy, and sometimes they'll go to businesses and have the businesses sponsor buddies. And then you can put a little tag in the Scentsy buddy that says, this buddy was sponsored by blank, blank chiropractic care. And then you'll just slip that note on the inside of the buddy. And then you take it to the children's hospital or the children's receiving home or whatever it is. That gets your name out there and the other business's name out there. So fundraisers are good for getting your name out there, but you're not doing one-on-one, so you're not really building those relationships as much. Events are great for one-on-one because they're coming to you, they like it, they're approaching you for it. The only downside to that is most people who buy from events are people who buy from events. So I'm not saying that not all people will only buy from events, but when I did the Sacramento County Fair, I just noticed that a lot of people who did who stopped by my booth are people who buy stuff from fairs, not so much people who host parties and whatnot. And then the last thing is Facebook parties, online parties. That is like pretty much no face-to-face contact. And the downside to that I've seen, I know that there's some people who do really successful Facebook parties, and I will link those links for you guys so you guys can get that extra training. But the problem is typically is poor hostess coaching. So you have somebody who wants to host a party, and they you get their page all set up, their party link all set up, and then what they do is they invite all 300 of their Facebook friends, and then they blast the invite to their Facebook friends, and then their Facebook friends, because everybody else is blasting invites, it just gets lost in the events. They don't accept it, they don't do all these things, and it's kind of impersonal. I would say if you are doing a Facebook event, make it intentional. You don't want to waste your time, but do some research and actually make it something where it's worth your while to post in there. And you're gonna benefit your hostess. I've had 2 Facebook parties at the same time. One did poor and had 0 sales. One turned into a new recruit. I didn't do anything differently. It was just all the difference in the hostess. So that kind of depends. So first, I would say home parties, then basket parties, then events, fundraisers, and then Facebook parties. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, there's a ton of resources in your workstation. Yeah, we're here if you guys need help with anything. So best of luck. We'll talk to you guys soon.